What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another NBA 2K17 Pro AM game. Now, I didn't start recording this game until right before tip-off, so I ended up missing this team's record, which is why I wasn't at the beginning of the video. But these guys are actually really good. They were like an Elite 3 or an Elite 4 team. You can take my word for it. And the reason why I say that is because throughout this game, you might not be able to tell that this team was good based on the defense that they play or don't play, depending on the way you look at it. So I'm not going to talk too much about this game. We're going to be talking about NBA playoff action, talk about some first round matchups throughout this game. So I'm going to let you guys know really quick what the game plan was, at least offensively. You guys see the guy checking me right here, this guy with the headband number 70. That guy was a lockdown defensive point guard. We get blocked right there. And they were trying to play a zone defense, but that guy always wanted to get on whoever the ball carrier was, try to reach in, try to get steals, since, you know, locked in defender, they have Hall of Fame pickpocket and high defensive ratings and all that. So once I realized that, I just used that against him by, you know, moving him around, trying to make him break his own zone defense by going rogue, and then, you know, we'll make the passes, find the open man, or take the shot ourselves. But for the most part, it was passing the ball after, you know, I dragged that guy away from where he was supposed to be. And, you know, just in general, these guys did have a sloppy zone defense besides that one guy. So now that you guys know that, we're going to get into the first round of the NBA playoffs, at least the Eastern Conference. I'm not sure how much I could get done in this video. I might only do the East now and then the West in a separate video, so we'll just start off and see how far we can go. Starting off with the number 1 seed Boston Celtics, who are going against the number 8 seed Chicago Bulls, since the Celtics were able to pull off the number 1 seed in the last couple of weeks, with the Cavaliers kind of falling apart. And I do have the Celtics winning this series in 5 games. I know a lot of people are giving the Chicago Bulls a really good chance of pulling off the upset. One of the best chances of any team pulling off an upset in this year's playoffs. And kind of confuses me because from the amount of times I've watched the Bulls this year, I just don't see it. I don't see how they can win a series. They can win a game, sure, maybe 2, but, you know, I just don't see this Bulls team, the way it's constructed, winning a series. They're not that deep besides Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade. You know, those guys are obviously superstars, but besides that, you know, their defense is very bad. Even their offense can get inconsistent at times. I feel like the Celtics would be able to break down their defense. Isaiah Thomas is playing like a superstar this year. I'm not saying the Celtics are really good. I don't have too much faith in them to, you know, go too far in the playoffs besides this first round, but I feel like, you know, the Bulls should be a good matchup for them to finally win a playoff series with this Isaiah Thomas constructed team, since they've been bouncing the first round the past couple of times. And the one thing that should definitely help them, I did mention that I think their defense, actually I think the Celtics defense is better, and the one thing that should help is Avery Bradley and Jay Crowder, because those two can guard the Bulls' best 2 players, Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler. Now, Jimmy Butler is a superstar. He could probably win a game by himself just by putting up a lot of shots, getting to the foul line a lot, playing great defense, but and I just feel like the Celtics are deeper. They got so many guys coming off the bench, like you got Jerebko, you got Marcus Smart, you got all kinds of different guys. Brad Stevens always plugs and plays different guys and different rotations and all that. The Celtics moved the ball very well, which I think could break apart the Bulls' defense. And I would give the Celtics a series in 5. We'll see how it goes, though. I mean, obviously, I'm rooting for. I mean, when it's not my team, I'm just rooting for series to go like 7 games and have them all be close games. So we'll be interested to see how that series works out. Here, I accidentally took a hook shot. I wanted to take a jumper. I was wide open, but I accidentally got myself stuck in the post and took that nonsense. Anyways, moving on, Cavaliers versus Pacers. Now, this game's actually going on right now as I'm doing this commentary. It's going to be going out definitely after that Cavs game ends. So, I do not know the result of that game, even though that video is going to be posted, you know, once the game is done, as we're going to try to go inside and get blocked right there. I have the Cavs over the Pacers in 6 games. Now, I'm not too concerned about the way the Cavs are playing right now as far as them getting out of the Eastern Conference. It's just the one thing that's really bad and really alarming is their defense. Their defense over the past couple of months, well, really for the whole year hasn't been that good, but for the past couple of months, it's just been, you know, very, very bad. They just make very basic mistakes. And, you know, as I'm doing this commentary, the first half of that Pacers and Cavs game, the game 1 just happened, and they were just playing so bad defensively, giving up open threes, a lot of drives to the rim by Monte, and, you know, Paul George is doing well and all that. And speaking of Paul George, I feel like, you know, Paul George is playing very well lately. You guys check box scores, he's playing well. If you watch the games, you can tell that he's playing like a superstar right now. The Paul George that we were expecting for most of the season is, we keep on getting blocked in this one, man. I'm trying to take good little takes, but these guys are just swatting every shot I take, and then they get the rebounds as well. So, it's keeping the game close right now, but, yeah, so Paul George is playing very well, but, you know, playoff time means LeBron time, and LeBron in the playoffs is a whole different animal. What you guys saw in the regular season with the Cavaliers, it won't be what you guys see in the playoffs, all right? It happens every single year with whatever team LeBron plays with, the Heat, the Cavs, whatever. Once the playoffs comes, LeBron kicks it to another gear, his team kicks it to another gear, all of a sudden they're knocking down threes and doing all kinds of crazy nonsense. LeBron's at the elbow making all sorts of gorgeous passes and just breaking apart defenses, rebounding like an absolute monster, makes you think he could average a triple-double in the NBA season the way he rebounds, and you know, that'll probably propel the Cavaliers to not only the series win, but probably a conference win. Now, do I think they could beat the Warriors, whoever comes out the West? That's a whole story for a different day. I think the Warriors are the best team in the league right now and probably the best chance to win the title. But we'll go on to the next teams in the Eastern Conference, the Raptors and the Bucks. And I actually have the Raptors pulling off a sweep right here. Raptors in 4 over the Bucks. And I just feel like, you know, the Buccaneers, they play a very risky style of defense where they like to double team a lot and stuff like that, and, you know, switch Giannis all over the place. You guys got guys swarming like bees, and I feel like Lowry's, you know, such a smart point guard that he'll be able to break that down. And on top of that, DeRozan's playing at a superstar level all year long, getting buckets. I believe he averaged like 27 or 28 points a game, and he doesn't even shoot threes. It's just old school, you know, mid-range game, you know, coming off screens, driving hard to the rim, and he's got all sorts of different moves once he gets to that mid-range area. And you know, I feel like that's enough to take down the Bucks. And the one thing that the Bucks could do to win a game, or, you know, maybe even the series, who knows, is the fact that the Raptors don't really have too much rim protection, because Valanciunas is the center, and Valanciunas, you know, he can only go so far as being a good defensive center. And even if you move Ibaka to the 5, you know, Ibaka's, you know, more of a traditional forward than a 5. He doesn't really play too well at the center spot, so maybe Giannis can get going, even Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton will be able to provide some good defense for them, at least. But, you know, at the end, the Raptors are a deeper team. They got Ibaka and PJ Tucker at the trade deadline, and that definitely helped their team out a lot. Ibaka, he brings stuff defensively, but offensively, he brings elite three-point shooting, especially at the stretch 4, which is very important in today's NBA. And, you know, that should just help the Raptors play some good offense, win that series, lock down, you know, as long as Giannis isn't just literally being a Greek freak and putting up like 25, 8, and 8 in the series, then they should be good. Right now, Michael's going off, by the way, in this one. I don't know if you guys can tell. They didn't get the memo that my man could knock down any open shot he takes. So, we're moving on to the Wizards and the Hawks right now. I have the Wizards in 6 over the Atlanta Hawks. This series, I feel like, can go either way. I am leaning towards the Wizards just because I feel like the Hawks are missing they lost too much in the past year, and they haven't gotten as much in return for what they lost. So they've lost Al Horford, they lost Jeff Teague, and they lost Kyle Korver. Now, they were able to replace Jeff Teague with a guy coming off their bench already, Dennis Schroeder, but I don't believe Schroeder, you know, at this point is as good as Teague, mainly because Schroeder's game is pretty inconsistent. I do like Dennis Schroeder. I think he, you know, could be a starting NBA point guard for years to come, but right now, you know, there's just some games where Schroeder will end up with like 8 turnovers, and you can't have that. There's times where he gets frustrated and makes mental mistakes, and, you know, young guys will do that, but in the playoffs, you cannot do that, and you will lose quickly if that happens. They lost Al Horford, and they got Dwight Howard. Now, that might as well be a wash right there. Dwight's a better rebounder. Al Horford's a better passer. They both bring about the same as far as scoring and stuff like that, and then, they replaced Kyle Korver with Tim Hardaway Jr., and, you know, the one thing about that is they already had Tim Hardaway Jr., so the fact that they lost Kyle Korver and they lost Jeff Teague is just losing depth for them, and, you know, Malcolm Delaney and stuff like that, they're not as good, and whoever the backup shooting guard is, like Bellamy or something like that, I don't know who it is for the Hawks, but I feel like, you know, the Hawks lost too much, and then we go to the Wizards. The Wizards, they gained during the trade deadline. They got Bogdanovich. They got Brandon Jennings. I think they got him out the buyout from the Knicks. And then on top of that, Bradley Beal stayed healthy, which is a major plus for this team. Having Bradley Beal and John Wall playing together, one of the best backcourts, definitely top 3 backcourt in the NBA, that's what made the Wizards scary and made people think the Wizards were, you know, making the jump a couple of years ago when they had Paul Pierce and the man was calling game and all that. Part of that was Beal and Wall playing like stars out there, and the reason why they could set up Paul Pierce to call game at the end of those games and, you know, hit those crazy shots. But now Paul Pierce isn't there, so they're going to need someone to close the games out, and it's not going to be Otto Porter, so it's going to have to be Beal and Wall ready to step up and ready to win this playoff series, and I think, you know, they're ready to pull that off. And I'm just looking at the time left in this game. We got 2:25 left. We will probably save the Western Conference for a separate video because I just don't have enough time. So as you guys see in this game right here, this Pro-Am game, it was close in that third quarter, you know, close at halftime, close for the first couple of minutes in the third, but, you know, they just had no answer for us offensively, and we were just so in sync. You know, it was just going to be very hard to beat us on this day because we were just moving the ball so well. We ran one of these lineups where it's myself and a glass cleaner and 3 sharpshooters, so it's a lot dependent on ball movement and myself playmaking, and we have about to be 20 assists because they keep on sleeping on my man Michael. At this point, they've given up. Some guys aren't even moving on defense. So we're just padding the stats right now. They're going to leave him open. Might as well. And Michael is on pace to score like 40 points right now. He's just going off. Look at that man in the corner. I got 3 people on me. Why not? Why not get one more assist? Let's see how hot he is. He's still got the touch right there. And he's in the corner again. Like, come on, man. Like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? This man's not missing out here. We got 91 points as a team. So it was a very good team win right here. And there's just a lot of clips where you guys see the ball just moving so fluidly, the floor is spaced so well between all of us, all the shooters were in sync and all that, screens are being set at the right spots, and that's the result right there. I promise you these guys were a good team, but they just got dismantled today. So leave a like on this video if you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about my playoff predictions in the comment section for the Eastern Conference at least. We'll have the Western Conference later today probably, and I know if you guys disagree, go ahead, tell me I'm an idiot, because I probably am. So, yeah, leave a like in the video if you guys enjoyed it. My man Michael with 42 points, easily the player of the game. Subscribe for more 2K17 Pro AM games, and I will catch you guys next time.